Hey yo, it's the Memo Show! We dropping, we flopping, we socking, and we hopping.
Hey, Leo, what are you doing in my studio?
I was gonna do your intro for you.
What? Oh, okay. Who's today's guest?
Junior!
And what do we talk about?
You guys talk about the Marines and the conspiracy theories of movies and other stuff.
Oh, yeah? Okay, all right. Tell them about my Instagram.
At TheMemoshow. Follow him.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to tell these guys?
Subscribe and leave a review. Send an email, memo.productions@icloud.com.
Pretty good. You want to come in and do my intros every week?
Sure.
That is if you don't have school.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, it's the Memo Show!
All right, Junior. How'd you get that nickname?
Pretty much, my dad, we have the same name. But technically, I'm actually the third. My dad was married before my mom. And he has another son. And we both have the same name. But since my brother's been in jail most of his life, he was never part of our life. So everybody calls me Junior, but technically I'm the third. And you know, every freaking Mexican household, you always have a Junior. Like, no matter what, it's like, oh yeah, call Junior. Like, so that's what everybody knows me by, you know. Like, it's very rare that people call me by my first name.
What's your first name?
Jose.
Jose.
And
I knew
you want to guess what my second name is?
Jose. I don't know.
Juan.
Juan. Of course it is.
So it's a typical Mexican name, Jose Juan.
Oh my
God. The third.
So what relation are you to Teresa, my wife?
So it's
nephew, cousin.
So here's the thing. We're both around the same age and we grew up together. So we grew up as cousins. We always said that we were cousins.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, okay, so little story behind that. Her mom, rest in peace, was my mom's aunt.
Okay.
My mom, rest in peace as well. And so technically, your wife, my cousin / aunt, is my mom's cousin. But since we grew up together, we grew up as cousins. And it's funny because now, like, she's my cousin. In reality, she's my aunt. But now she's my daughter's godmother.
Mm.
So she's my cousin / aunt / comadre, which there's really no translation for in English. Not that I'm aware of.
For what?
Comadre.
Yeah, godmother, right?
No, she's my daughter's godmother.
Oh.
But she's my comadre, which there's no translation in English.
I always thought it was godmother. Comadre is...
Okay, comadre? No, godmother is to the child. So if my daughter would consider my comadre her godmother because she baptized her.
Mm-hmm.
For me, she's my comadre. There's no English translation for the word comadre that I'm aware of. I know it's kind of funny because, you know, like, I can't actually recall when we actually met for the first time. I think she probably brought you over to my house when I used to live with my sister. I think you guys might have gone over.
Maybe. Probably.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, this is Garrett. And you know what's funny? That for a couple of parties that I saw you at, I couldn't remember your name. I was like...
It's a hard name. So here's the thing. That's where I got the name Memo. Because the guys I used to work with back when I was a teenager, I used to deliver ice. You know, they were Mexican, and they like, there's no Mexican name for Garrett, right? But to them, the closest thing was Guillermo.
Yeah.
And if you want to shorten Guillermo, it's Memo.
Yeah.
Just like if you shorten Garrett, it's Gare. Like all my family calls me Gare.
Grr.
Yeah.
Fucking pirate.
Grr. No, not Gare. Gare.
All right.
And then I just took that, and it was kind of a rite of passage too, because they used to call me, I used to be lazy, like when I was like 15, 16.
When did that stop?
And I was
or is
working.
that still ongoing?
Yeah, it's still ongoing. But no, when I was like 15, 16, I didn't do shit, right? I just hung out. I went for the ride to go deliver ice. You know, I didn't really pull my weight. And they used to call me Catalina because they said in Catalina, everybody just relaxes and nobody does any work and blah, 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 blah. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. But that's what they said. But then when I was like 18, 19, and I would bust my ass, you know, they called me Memo. So they're like, oh, okay, you're in the name Memo. We're going to call you Memo now. So I just use that. I've always used that for my music name, for, you know, any of the creative, artistic projects that I do, that I actually work on, you know.
I think everybody has that alter ego name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to your family, you're known as this person. To your friends, you're known as another. And then, like, in your, I don't know, I guess, professional life or whatever you do, like, you also have your other name.
Yeah.
You know, like me, everybody calls me Junior. Like, everybody in my family, they all know me by Junior. So I used to be in a motorcycle club.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So let me put it into
well, hold on, let's go back a little bit. Let me ask you. So you're a veteran.
Yeah.
Right?
Marine.
I've never really talked to a vet about their service or about their experience. I know it was rough. I know that the biker group was a way for you to deal with that. Is that right?
Yes and no. The thing is that when you're in the service...
What branch?
Marine Corps.
Marine?
Semper Fi.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Hey, you earn your title, you know, like... I think being in the Marines, you know, being deployed to Iraq and experiencing all these different, you know, being away from home, being, you know, like in my 20s, going out to fight a war in a foreign country, all that plays into the person that you develop into.
Yeah. So
you have all this camaraderie when you're in the service. You know, you're looking out for your brother to your left, to your right, and you're a family. Because you sleep, you eat with these guys like 24/7. So when I got out of the service, I missed that camaraderie. So one of the first things, before I get to the other part, like, you know, I did 3 tours in Iraq. I was OIF 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I was deployed 2003, 2004, 2005. I came back January 16th, 2006. And I had some money saved up. So one of the first things I did was like, you know what? I always wanted a motorcycle. So I went ahead and I bought myself a motorcycle for my birthday. This is back in the MySpace days.
2006.
Yeah. So, you know, I had MySpace and this guy hits me up. He's like, hey, bro, like, you know, I see that, because, you know, you used to be able to request people and like add people as friends. Mm-hmm. So this guy hits me up and he's like, hey, bro, like, I'm part of this motorcycle club. You should check us out. You know, like, you know, it'll be fun. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go check them out and, I got fascinated, man. Like, it's not
the same idea, right?
Yeah, it's not what you see in the movies, like, you know, like freaking Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans and all that. Because
I'm sure
we're more of a riding club, not a. Because no, you know, you have different levels of clubs. Mm-hmm. You know, you got your 1%ers, which are like the outlaw guys. Then you have RCs. You have MCs, like motorcycle clubs, and you have RCs, riding clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different levels of riding. And I fell in love with it. I mean, like, all these guys, like, welcomed me in. You know,
it's kind of like the same idea. There's a hierarchy.
Exactly.
You're all there for the same...
For the love
same
of
goal.
For the love of riding.
Right.
And before that, you know, it was like for the love of country, that you go serve for you serve your country, you make lifelong friendships. I mean, to this day, I still have friends that I serve with, that I'm still friends with, I still keep in touch with, and I try to like hang out with. So yeah.
So that's how you transitioned from being
a service member
to a civilian.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, I mean, there is really no there is a transition, but you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the thing is that being in the service, all you do is just like train to go to war or whatever it is, and you're accustomed to doing these things all the time. So what happens that when you get out, it's a whole different life.
Yeah.
Because now you gotta work. Now you gotta, if you have a family, you gotta buy for your family.
You gotta talk to people.
You gotta talk to people, and then whatever experiences you had, whether stateside or being deployed to a combat zone, like that all plays into your psychological, or your mental, your well-being, your mental health and everything. So it stays with you.
How has your military service helped you be like a better civilian or a civilian in general?
It's helped me in the sense that it teaches you leadership, right? Yeah. It teaches you how to deal with stressful situations, how to overcome stressful situations, how to remain calm in stressful situations where the normal person would like freak out or like, oh my God, what's going on? And like, or as you're vigilant of your surroundings. You're aware of what's going on around you. You see things that normal people don't see, like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And you're always vigilant.
You see the little details.
Yeah, you're always vigilant, you know, like, and you're also, like, you try to help people out. Like, if you see somebody in danger, you're like, oh, you know, let me jump in.
Yeah.
And other people will be like, oh, hell no, I'm not getting involved. Like, that's not my problem. So being in the service has helped me with, you know, it teaches you discipline, obviously. Responsibility. I mean, there's people that still continue their physical, you know, keeping in shape. Mm-hmm. Some of us is like, all right,
we're fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm like a little more relaxed. And I actually have a shirt that says, not as mean, not as lean, but I'm still a Marine. So that nobody could ever take my title away.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to take that title away because I earned the title to be a United States Marine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my time in uniform is over, but, like, I always tell myself, like, I swore an oath to defend this country.
Yeah.
So regardless if I'm no longer in, like, I feel that
you're still going to do
I'm still going to do it, you know, because I swore an oath. It's a lifetime oath. It's not like, okay, well, I'm done. My contract is over, like, whatever. Like, no, like, you know, like with everything that broke out in Ukraine, against Russia and everything, it's like a lot of friends that I still have from the service, it's like it was hard because you're like, you want to do something, you know, you want to go out there and fight, help these people liberate themselves.
Because you know you can.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
And it's like, man, like, you have your family back home. They need you as well. Yeah. So it's like, what do I do?
The fucked up decision. Like, what the fuck? That was like after 9/11, that whole shit, right? You were there the whole...
Well, I was actually...
Iraq and
I was already
Afghanistan?
in the Marines during 9/11. I was actually in a training exercise in Yuma, Arizona, at Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma, Arizona. And I remember that morning, it was September 11th. We got up early to go get chow, and there was a bunch of us. Well, people don't know what chow is. Like, you go get breakfast, like it's kind of like the mess hall. It's like a cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
So they split the company in half, and they're like, all right, you guys go first, and then the other half, we'll wait until you guys come back. This was around, I remember, like 6 in the morning or something like that. And the first group comes back, and they're like, you're not gonna believe what happened.
But you were in Arizona?
Yeah, we're at the Marine Corps Air Station.
So if it's 6 a.m. there, it's 9 a.m. in the city.
Yeah, that's right? Around the time that I think the planes hit the towers. Mm-hmm. So they're like, they come back and everybody's like freaking in shock.
Oh, fuck.
And we're like, what's going on? They're like, the plane crashed into the World Trade Center. And we're like, shut the hell up, you're bullshitting. They're like, no, we're like, we're serious. We're like, no way. So then, like, we got to the mess hall.
How old were you?
21.
21?
Yeah. I turned 21 in April. Yeah. So I was 21. And we get to the mess hall, the chow hall, and it's all over the news, you know? Yeah. And then we're like, holy shit. And they're showing the video of the plane crashing into the World Trade Center. And then the second one, and we're just like, nobody's really eating. Everybody's just
the first one you thought it was an accident. And then the second one, you're like, nah, no fucking way. This is
not an accident.
This is some shit going down.
And then we're just watching, and we're like, nobody's eating. Everybody's just like watching the TV and like, the hell?
Well, are you guys thinking about like,
we're going to war?
We're gonna have to go there.
Yeah, we're like, the first thing in our heads is like, we're going to war. And then you see the World Trader, both freaking things collapse. You're like, holy shit.
So you being in the service knew immediately what that meant.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in our mind, we're like, we're gonna go to war, but
you didn't know where. You didn't know where, who, or what.
Everybody kept saying, "Oh, well, it was Bin Laden," and then like, "Oh, it's the weapons of mass destruction in fucking with Saddam Hussein," and all this crap. You know, like, we didn't know exactly the details of everything that was happening. So they put the base on lockdown. And we all ended up going to the armory to draw arms, you know, because we didn't know like if the base could have gotten attacked or you know, they go into, I forgot what is it like, because you got different levels of security. So you got Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, you know, the military phonetics or whatever the freaking. Yeah. So they locked down the base, nobody in and out. And we went to go get arms at the armory, and then I got tasked with guarding the flight path, and they had the Harriers, you know, the ones that land vertically, and that's pretty cool. So we did that, and then they reduced the threat level, and we went back back to normal for a bit. And then we came back to Camp Pendleton, which is where I was stationed at. And for some time...
Where's Pendleton?
Camp Pendleton is by San Clemente. Like right after... it's kind of like right where... well, actually, it is. Right where Orange County ends. Mm-hmm.
Towards San Diego?
Yeah.
Where the boobies are?
Yeah. Everybody knows the boobies. Yeah. Okay. So Camp Pendleton actually starts... before that, which is Cristianitos Road. Mm-hmm. And
I think I camped down there.
Yeah, well, actually, I have a camping ground. Yeah. So once you go through Cristianitos Road, you go into the back. What's it called? Entry point. Mm-hmm.
So from there, after that, you said you went to Iraq. After that, that's when they. We actually landed in Kuwait. What year?
2003.
Okay.
So we went to Kuwait, and then.
So you stuck around here for the 2 years after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was still we actually did a build up. You know, you train and everything, and then.
Because they see what the threat is now, and then they.
Yeah, that's when they decided to send troops.
Situation.
We got to Kuwait in January of 2003, and then from there we did the build up. And then that's when we did the invasion. So we went through the whole process of OIF-1, which that's what they called it, Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is like, I don't know who the hell we were liberating because...
Yeah, because they had the bright idea of making them free from Saddam Hussein, right?
But here's the thing.
But who was looking for Bin Laden?
Well, that was in Afghanistan.
Yeah, like who? Like,
Well, the whole thing.
these two things were going on at once. Right?
The whole thing about Iraq was to liberate the people of Iraq and look for weapons of mass destruction,
Right.
which we never found. They had us guarding the oil fields that were burning, and it's like, why? I thought we were here to find weapons of mass destruction or dethrone Saddam Hussein. During OIF-1, it's like everybody was like happy to see us and like, oh, thank you for liberating us and all that. And then once that died down, it was like,
They were like, get the fuck out of here.
get the fuck out of here. Like, we don't want Western
Influences.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that freaking I don't know if you're familiar with the beginning of civilization, which is in Babylon.
Yeah.
And Babylon is in freaking Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to impose our Western traditions on people that have been here like,
Longer than us.
yeah, for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, like these people have managed to live their ways.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come in and introduce our Western lifestyle.
Yeah, that was very controversial for, even here. Like, we were like, why are we there? What are we doing? Like, how is that fair? Like, we're just as bad as the other. Like, why are we sticking our noses in things? And
I mean, don't get me wrong. When we were pushing through Baghdad, the whole thing was looking for weapons of mass destruction. And I didn't see any weapons of mass destruction. I did see some freaking rockets that were like freaking, I'm not going to even lie to you, dude. These things were like massive. Things were like 20, 30 feet long.
Jesus Christ.
And they were all like, it was like say for example, you go to like the Walmart parking lot or whatever, those parking lots.
Yeah, huge
Parking lots, and it was just rows and rows and rows and rows of freaking rockets, like I guess ready to be shot up in the air and everything, and they were all pointed towards like Kuwait, because Kuwait's like one of the nearest countries that, how in 1990-91 Iraq invaded Kuwait.
Yeah.
So like I guess they had like
the Desert Storm, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which was the Gulf War.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, that is kind of crazy, like that they were ready to shoot off these rockets, but the U.S. intervened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the U.S., the United Nations, pretty much, like,
they were like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, wait a minute, like, let's be honest. I mean, I'm proud of my country, I'm proud of my service, but let's be honest, who's the biggest bully here? Yeah, I don't even have to tell you.
We're making faces at each other right
exactly.
now. Like everybody knows.
Everybody knows. It's like, it has 50, stars and 13 stripes.
Yeah, we're not even like bullies, so we're just...
Here's like, as I'm getting older, bro, like, when you're in your 20s...
Well, does it make you, like... Does it make you ashamed to have served?
No.
Because of some of the stuff America as a whole has done? Or does it...
See, that's where I was getting at. When you're in your 20s and you're like...
You're looking for something to be a part of. You're looking for something to follow, to have a bigger
have
meaning.
This ideal or belief that you're doing good in the world.
You want to have that belief.
Exactly.
Right.
So when you're there, it's like you follow orders no matter what. Because if not, people die. And it's not so much about fighting your enemies. Like, no, I'm gonna take care of my guy to my left, to my right. Like
your people.
Yeah, you follow orders to the T. Whatever your belief is, whether you believe they're evil, that they're causing harm and they should be stopped, it's like whatever you believe is
doesn't matter.
It's you're given orders to follow. As time goes by and you start to realize and like think on your own, you're like, this is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense. Like, why are we doing this? And
You start to question things.
they they kind of misdirect you. I don't know if I'm like, they'll do
Yeah.
something over here, so your focus is over here, but on this side, like on the left side, they're like doing some.
Well, it's the
shady
same
shit.
thing with 9/11. It's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
like they're like, oh, well, we're gonna, start a war over here, and we're paying attention to that while they're over in, Saudi Arabia trying to, fuck with their shit. You know what I mean? They misdirect you. That's America for you, though. Like,
Exactly.
but that's what they do.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
and that's the thing.
But
like,
did you ever, when you were in the military, feel like this is all a bunch of bullshit? Like you're just a fall guy
you're
for
just
something?
pawns. All we are is pawns, dude. Like, we're the foot soldiers. We're the ones that go in there, do the dirty stuff, and people are just like giving commands. Like what is it? The puppeteers.
Yeah, puppeteers.
Yeah. So
You're
it's
all
like
on strings.
yeah, we're on strings. We're just told what to do by higher ups. It's kind of like that song. I always refer to that song, "Fortunate Son."
Mm-hmm.
All the politicians, they're the ones pulling strings. Do they ever send their kids? Do they ever like family members? It's like, no, I'll send other people's kids to war to die for my cause. Like,
so I can get richer and I can
exactly
be more powerful.
One of the things that people don't understand is that wars create economy.
Yeah. It's $1 billion industry.
Yeah, so it makes
Trillion-dollar
it makes
industry.
sense to have wars, because guess what? The people that own stock in those companies, the like, what do they call the like Blackwater and freaking
I don't know. I don't know
companies?
enough about that, but I
They're-
do
they're
know
the
it,
ones- they're
it
the-
keeps
they're the-
things spinning.
Yeah.
It keeps the gears moving.
So
Keeps the investors happy. Yeah.
yeah, so war is good for the economy because it stimulates it. You gotta build more tanks.
And
build more ammunition.
that goes back hundreds of years. World War One. You know what I mean? Like all the Industrial Revolution happened because of World War One. So it advances us as the United States, or as the human race, even in general. And most of the coolest tech that we have came from the military creating it first. They create it. They have all the money they need to create cool shit. Fucking
It's like you give
night
it
vision, radar,
like a blank
everything.
check.
Yeah.
Here's a blank check. Create the fucking best technology, the best weapons.
And then once they get it, then we get it. We get some simplified consumer version of it. Cell phones, like all that shit. Even just radios.
So,
as basic as that. Like that's.
I'm not that I'm a hardcore conspiracy theorist.
Well, it sounds like you are. You think you're on fucking Joe Rogan right now?
No, but the
You're
thing-
like, think about it.
seriously, where did we get all this technology, bro?
No, I agree with you 100%. I think technology,
Where
the basic things that we use every day came from wars, came from military, came from a need that we had to win a war. And we created something, and then eventually that thing becomes something we use every day. Batteries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean,
simple shit.
where
like
did you
that.
get all that technology before that?
Nowhere.
I mean,
We didn't have it.
We're not the smartest. I mean, yes.
Oh, we probably stole it from another country, or
Or could it be like? It's funny because people are gonna be like, "Nah, this fucker's crazy." He's like, it's gonna sound stupid,
Japan.
but like alien technology, like all that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Okay, here's the thing. Before we go any further, do you think we're alone?
in the universe,
And planet Earth.
on planet Earth, I don't know.
What did
On
they,
planet Earth, I think that No, I think there's humans on planet Earth. I think in the
What about non-humans, like, like...
aliens living amongst us. No, I don't think they're living. I don't think they're stupid enough to live here.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw some of those congressional hearings where they've actually admitted that there is UFOs and...
Yeah, there's no way they can't admit that. I mean, there's too many things that add up to there being something else in this universe, whether or not they give a fuck about us or whether or not they are here. That's a different story. I think the United States government, they don't think normal humans are equipped to be able to handle that thought.
Yeah, because there'd be mass hysteria. Like, there'll be anarchy.
But would there?
Like, huh?
Would there be? I think people are more at the point in society where they would just be like, oh, cool, there's aliens. Like,
Well,
maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, hell yeah. But also, aliens were a big part of our culture back then, 50, 60 years ago. In the 60s and the 50s, people were reading comic books, listening to radio shows about UFOs, and, it was still a thing. And I think if they admitted that they were here, I think at any point humans have the capacity. I think humans have the capacity to be like, okay, well, what do we do? You know what I mean? Like, do we live with them? Do we ask them questions? Like, what do they want? Like, I think we're smarter than the government or other people give humans credit for.
I think you give humankind too much credit.
I do. I would like to.
Because
I would like to, Junior. I swear.
Just last year, 2023, all the stupid shit that just arise. I don't know. Like, honestly, I love my country. There's no greater country, but I feel like the government is fucking shady as fuck.
They try to pull fast ones on us all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So you did how many stints in Iraq?
3 tours.
3 tours.
OF1, OF2, F3.
F1, F2, F3. What's the most? I've always wanted to ask someone this, but what's the most realistic war movie that you've seen that like you saw and you were like, fuck, that's exactly what it's like, or very close to?
The thing is that everybody has different experiences. So, like,
because I love war movies. Like, that's like, for some reason they grip me so tightly, and it's an experience that I know that I'll never have, and I know that millions of people have had, and I love to. It's hard for me as a civilian to tell what's embellished and what's real and what's close to reality. So I was just wondering, to you, what's something you saw in a movie where you're like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy?
Well, like I said, everybody has different experiences, and it also depends what you were a part of. There's a lot of people that saw, American Sniper, like the Navy SEALs that deal with that. Because we also, in my 3rd tour, we had a SEAL team attached to us. And I was like, oh shit, like these guys are Navy SEALs, But they're like super down to earth, like real cool guys. And I don't want to go off track. So I love action movies. I love military movies. One of the ones that I seen was The Hurt Locker. It's kind of like we had a situation similar to what happened in The Hurt Locker, where there was IED. The IED went off, and EOD, which Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, came in, and they were they cordoned off the area, right? We cordoned off the area. We did and then they do an assessment to see what explosive was used and all that shit. and there was a secondary IED underneath. And we had our commanding officer, and he got blown up into pieces. So it's kind of similar to what happened in the Hurt Locker. I don't know if you saw that scene where, have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Where the chaplain, he's like, he goes out into the where they had the IED, and then the secondary one goes in. It goes off, and fucking he's blown off into pieces because the guy's like, "Oh, where are you?" Like he's like he's looking for him. And the reason I say it's not very realistic is because EOD, which I got to experience with them, they don't go out in two vehicles where it's like one guy and then the other guy is like following them around and all this bullshit. It's like EOD travels with like 4 or 5 vehicles. They have their security team, and then they have, their freaking, their equipment and all that shit. So when that guy was like, it was just the 2 vehicles traveling to different directions, it's like, nah, that's...
I mean, obviously there's going to be different,
Yeah.
they're going to change it for the movies, but,
Okay, so here's the thing. Maybe not a movie, but if you want to see something that is realistic and almost what we experienced, you got to watch Generation Kill.
I saw that.
Generation Kill is like, I'm like fucking reliving what I went through. I'm like, holy shit, like
That's
you
a
do
good
that
one.
shit.
And nobody's heard of it.
Well, no.
I saw it because I went into that rabbit hole and I was like, what's the most like realistic down to earth kind of like experience to film kind of thing for the military, and that's what a lot of people said. But everybody I've talked to, they have never seen that. What is it on, like Prime or something?
I don't know if it's
on like
Prime
a weird...
or Netflix or one of those.
Yeah, it's buried. It's buried deep.
But I mean, if you want to watch what we experienced going through, Iraq and, the Euphrates River and like going to the Saddam's palace and all this stuff, like if you watch Generation Kill, it's like, holy shit, like, dude, there's no way they got this on film. There's no way they did this. There's no way they did that. Because like, it really shows Marine Corps
like the mentality
and life,
brotherhood, and
where like you have and this is true because I experienced it firsthand. You have the brothers hanging out. You have the white guys hanging out. You have the Mexicans hanging out. And then you get your like Puerto Ricans that think they're black. They go hang out with the blacks. But every group is segregated.
Yeah.
Like you guys hang out here, we hang out here, we do this. You got that one guy that's always watching porn, fucking watching like magazines. You got those guys that are always fucking working out no matter what they're doing, like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking do that. You got the fucking gung-ho, like, fucking, I'm ready to kill everybody. And like, then you got like your corpsmen, which are the Navy that are attached to Marine Corps units. You got your fucking butter bars. Those are like the first lieutenants that have no experience. They just fucking they're fresh out of fucking OCS. And I don't know if you that one fucking lieutenant that kept on like fucking trying to like rush the enemy, and then like he tried to stab him with the bayonet and like doing all kinds of stupid shit. Like you have those type of people. That first sergeant that was part of the show, every unit has that fucking first sergeant that is like, why haven't you fucking shaved? Like, why are your fucking boots not blouse? Why do you have your blouse tucked in? Or like, why this? Why that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just so funny that I watched that show and I was like,
holy shit, they nailed it.
Dude, they nailed it. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with an MRE.
Mm-mm.
It's a meal ready to eat. It comes in the little
pouches.
Yeah, the little pouches. And it's funny because you have the milkshakes, which is just fucking
They
powder.
they were like fighting over him, right? Or like
No. The thing is, like, there's this guy where he does a milkshake and he downs it, and he's like, it's like going down his fucking face, and it's just like, dude, that's like, we were fucking trading MREs, like, all right, well, I don't like the chicken with salsa. What do you got? Oh, I got a beef patty. Hey, I'll trade you. Hey, I got some M&Ms. I'll trade them for your Skittles. Or like fucking, I got a lemon pound cake. I'll trade it for your vanilla flavored pound cake. I got nacho cheese. Let me get your fucking your peanut butter. You know, you trade and you do all kinds of shit like when you're there.
Things that make you happy when you're there.
Yeah, and then like, you know, one of the things that got me going was I bought a little Walkman. You remember the fucking Walkman with the Sony Walkman?
The digital one? Or
No, the fucking the CD one.
The CD one?
Yeah. So I bought myself that, and like, you know, when we were like on convoys or we were what's it called? That we had to dig a foxhole. Like, you just like listening to your fucking Walkman, and like it got you going, and then you start doing like trading shit. Like, hey bro, like one of the things for me was it was funny because they have a Mo PX where they bring like cigarettes and freaking like one of the biggest things for me was cup of noodles. Like cup of noodles, like bomb ass shit, because you could just heat up some water, heat up your cup of noodles, and taste better than the MREs.
Damn, really?
Hell yeah.
All that time engineering fucking ready to eat meals and cup
Those
noodles.
shit tastes nasty, bro. It's all processed food, and each one, depending on which one you get, like if you eat the whole meal, it's anywhere between 1,500 to like 3,000 calories, and those are meant to help sustain you for a whole day.
Yeah.
You know, because you need, like, you have all your gear, you're fucking patrolling, you're walking around, whatever the fuck you're doing, and you're talking about 120 degree weather. So you're like fucking sweating your ass off, you're dehydrated, so you need that energy.
Yeah.
So, and those things fucking taste like some of them are decent, like the ones that have the tomato sauce, like chicken with salsa, spaghetti with meatballs, the fucking the enchilada, the beef enchilada.
Anything with tomato sauce, huh?
Yeah, those are pretty good.
The Italians did it again, huh?
But then you have like, and then they give you the little bottles of Tabasco sauce.
Oh, okay.
So you just fucking pour it in there. And sometimes like the meatloaf and gravy, they give you the little powdered chili. So you fucking throw it in there, and you create a meal, bro. Like you have so much. Sometimes you have so much time that you just come up with like crazy shit. You know, you get the wheat bread, and then you heat up either the chicken breast or the beef patty. So this is my time, right? Back when I was in there. I guess now they have like different types of because you have like, what is it, 1 through 32. So 1 through 16 is different types of foods, and then 17 through 32 is like a different. So they have 2 different boxes. So you're like, hey, what box is this? Like, you get the good shit, right? So you get the wheat bread, then you heat up the beef patty, and then you have the nacho cheese. So you spread the nacho cheese on top. You make yourself a little fucking hamburger.
It sounds like what they do in jail, bro. Like with all the different like pieces of instant foods
exactly.
that you get from the commissary.
Like, for example, like the pound cake. You get the powdered chocolate mix, some water, and you create like this little like paste, and then you just smear it on top of the pound cake, and it's like boom.
Anything to keep you fucking sane, huh?
Yeah, dude. Like you do like fucking stupid shit. Like you get the camel spiders to fucking like fight against each other. So you're like fucking entertaining,
bro.
Dude, like I'm serious, dude. Whatever it took to get entertained. There's a few times that we did like fucking we were fucking around. You know, you can't fucking drink alcohol and all that shit because you're pushing forward, and you know you have to be you know,
clear-headed.
So we ended up at this one Iraqi base in Diwania. You had the Iraqis selling Iraqi gin and whiskey. So each bottle was like $40-$50 at the beginning, right? Because you had a whole battalion. So everybody was like the demand was more than
what they had.
They had. So the supply. So obviously you're gonna fucking jack up the prices, right? And then little by little, the battalion started like going away, and then like, you know, you have like 2-3 companies size. So then they're like, oh, we're losing business, so let's keep it cheaper. So they sell us like the bottle of gin and Iraqi whiskey for like $10.
What's that Iraqi whiskey taste like? Shit.
I don't fucking know. Like, I wasn't a whiskey fan, so I was like, I didn't take.
You drank the gin?
I drank the gin. Ugh. But it's funny because the all the bottles had that one same girl in all the bottles. Like, it's like she's the one. Like, you saw her everywhere.
I gotta look it up. It's fine. Can I find a picture of it?
You know what? I don't know if you can find the picture. And then it's funny too because you don't have access to like to stores. So remember I was saying about the mobile PX? We had the Iraqis selling us summer cigarettes. It's like a little blue carton with Iraqi cigarettes, but they don't have any nicotine. It's just like straight freaking what is it? Tobacco.
Really? Oh, yeah. But there's no nicotine in it?
No. You know what's funny? I mean, what is it? What 2020? It's been 21 years, and I still have 3 boxes of Summers in my house.
For reals?
Yeah. Look it up. Summers, Iraqi summer cigarettes. Right there. That one right there. No, the next one.
This one?
Yeah. The Summers right there. Those and then the Miamis.
$25 a box.
And that's how much they will sell it for. They will sell you a carton. So as our convoy was passing by, the Iraqis would sell you the cigarettes. And then when you open the box, it only had like 1 or 2 packs, and the other shit was just like fucking empty. And you're like, you motherfuckers, dude. Like
you're like, I think I'll be gone in an hour. It's fine.
And then since we overthrew Saddam, you had the Iraqi dinars, which is the Iraqi like money, and most of his money had his portrait on there, like his face. So it was worthless. So you get like a big ass fucking stack of Iraqi dinars for like $5-10. Like you're like, oh, like they'll try to sell it to you, because back in those days, an Iraqi dinar, 3,000 dinars was $1. It lost its value. So the guys like on the road, on the side of the road, were like trying to sell it. So you're like, oh fuck it, I'll give you $1, and they'll give you a big old stack because it was worth nothing. It had no value.
It was a souvenir to you?
Yeah, pretty much. And the cool thing is that, you know what shawarmas are?
Like the food?
Yeah. It's kind of like the al pastor. So people think that tacos are from Mexico. No, tacos are from the Middle East. The shawarmas.
Yeah, because it cut it off.
And and that's where
except it's pita instead of tortilla.
It's the Mexican version of shawarma. And I may be wrong, but this is my understanding that that's where tacos came from. Because I don't know if you know what tacos árabes are. It's the flour tortilla taco. So it's just a taco with a flour tortilla.
It's like pita, but like tortilla.
All right. So I'm gonna veer off real quick to a story that happened. So in 2005, when I was in Iraq, they had the elections. The elections for in Iraq, and we were guarding this school where they were gonna hold elections. And one of my buddies, he got on the top of the roof of the school, and he found a dried up pita bread. Like it was dried, like it was like hard, right? So he's like, oh, fucking frisbee. So he threw it, and it landed on the ground, and it broke into pieces. All the fucking, like, we're like, what the fuck? All the Iraqis, they ran to the pita bread and picked up the pieces from the ground. And they were just like fucking dogging us, like we were fucking assholes. Well, to them, that food is sacred.
It's holy.
Exactly. So it was like all these motherfuckers were like fucking pissed off as shit. So back to my story. What was it?
We were talking about the gin and the whiskey.
And,
and what you did to.
So the funny thing is that
time.
fucking so everybody knows. Okay, during the daytime, the fucking desert is hot as fuck. If you've gone to the desert, it's hot as fuck. At nighttime, the desert gets like fucking freezing conditions.
Yeah,
like
it's
cold. Fucking cold. So what we used to do is like we used to dig holes and put the gin or the whiskey, and we used to buy some sodas and put them on the ground. So at nighttime, the ground fucking freezes, gets cold. Mm-hmm. In the morning, you have fucking cold ass drinks.
Okay.
So that's one thing to do. You get that if you want to get your cold drinks. It's a
desert. Natural freezer.
Exactly. So at nighttime, well, sometimes we leave it on the ground for a few hours. At nighttime, or like before it got dark, you bury them, and then like maybe 2-3 hours later, you dig them up, and we used to play some music and fucking be drinking all night. We used to get all fucked up. And it was funny because one of my buddies...
But you weren't allowed to, right?
No. And that's the thing that one of the guys, I remember his name, Corporal White, he ended up getting fucked up that the next day he couldn't go on mission, So they fucking did a formation and they're like, hey, if you motherfuckers get caught drinking, you're going to get NJP'd. NJP is non-judicial punishment. That's kind of like getting busted, right?
Yeah.
And we still kept on doing it. We're like, fuck this. Like, dude,
I mean, what are they going to fucking do?
We're going to fucking... No, here's the thing that... We're at fucking war, dude. Like, we don't know if we're fucking going to make it home,
you gotta blow off some fucking steam sometimes,
like, it's like, come on, man. Like, that's one of the biggest things I hate about the fucking military. That you're old enough to go die for your fucking country, but you're not old enough to drink
or vote. Sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like bullshit. Like, I'm gonna die for my country, and you're not like. Even if you got drunk in a foreign country or whatever, you get busted for it. It's like, okay, it's okay for me to fucking die for my country, but not to have a drink of alcohol or shit like that. It's like, come on, man. That's fucking bullshit.
So after all this, I mean, obviously you made it out alive, right?
One of the lucky ones.
Like what happened? Like, did you just go home? Did you get kicked out? Did you leave voluntarily? Did you finish your...
At the time, obviously my daughter. So I was there with my daughter's mom. And we were going through some tough times. We ended up separating, like she did her thing, I did my thing. And we were okay for some time. She fucking served me with child custody papers. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, are you fucking... And the worst thing is that she did it on Thanksgiving Day. And...
But what, she was trying to take her away? Or...
Yeah, pretty much. She wanted, like, pretty much not 100% custody, but she only wanted to... It's funny because at the time, it pissed me the fuck off. Like, now, like, we buried the hatchet. We're cool, we're good. We're really good.
What was her reason? What was her reasoning?
So, she wanted to get full custody, and she wanted to get child support, right?
Full physical and
child support.
Sole custody?
Yeah, because on the papers, she only wanted me to have her on the weekends. I needed to go pick her up, and I needed to go drop her off from like. It wasn't like 3 to 6. It was like from 3 in the afternoon till 3 in the afternoon on Sunday. every weekend, just so that like I had to go pick her up and I had to go drop her off. So she wanted her weekends free.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
course.
that's fucking bullshit. And the thing is that we had an agreement for Thanksgiving, if I had her that morning, she would have her that evening. So it fell on she had her that evening, so I went to drop her off at her mom's house, right? And then I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm outside. Her aunt comes out. I'm like, hey, we're such and such. She's like, oh, she's outside, but she wanted me to give you this. I'm like, okay, thank you. My daughter takes off with her, right? I open up the paperwork, summons fucking for child
support.
Yeah, child custody. And I was like, I look at the date. Before that, I called her. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what the fuck is this? She's like, oh, well, you know, like, I didn't know how to tell you. And, like, you know, you've been served and blah, 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 this and this and that. I'll see you in court. I'm like, oh, okay. Is that how it's going to work? So then I go home and I look at the paperwork. She had that paperwork for like 3 weeks. And she served me on fucking Thanksgiving Day. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you deliberately chose to fucking serve me on that day and ruin, you know, my family night. She's like, oh, I didn't know how to tell you. And like,
you were still in the military?
Huh?
You were still in the military?
Yeah. And I was like, all right, you want a fucking war? I'll give you a fucking war. You know, my mentality. I'm like, if I have to, I had my motorcycle. I had my collection of fucking firearms and all that shit. I'm like, you know what? If I have to sell my firearms, if I have to sell my fucking bike, whatever I gotta do, and if I have to get a lawyer, I go, you're not gonna fucking get my daughter. I guarantee it. So we started going through the process, and my re-enlistment came up, and I was always like on training or being deployed or whatever bullshit. And it came to the point where it's like, if I re-enlist, mind you, I had 11 years in already. I'm like, if I re-enlist, I'm not going to get custody because they're going to be like, well,
you're not here.
You're not here. Why would you want to have her? Yeah. So it's like, do I continue my career or do I want custody of my daughter? Obvious choice. My daughter. Yep. So my contract terminated, you know.
What does that look like? Like you have to go and like present to them?
No, or
re-enlistment is voluntary?
Yeah. Like, so the thing is when you what people don't understand is that when you enlist for the first time, some people enlist for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on your MOS, right? People think that like, okay, I'm gonna do my 4 years and I'm gonna get out. Like, no, your enlistment is for 8 years, regardless. It's 4 active and 4 inactive, which is IR, inactive ready reserve. But there's certain MOSs that you gotta do enlist for 5 years because your school is a year long. Like for example, the air wing, like in helicopters and all that shit, your training is a year, so you need to enlist for the 4 years, and you have 3 years of IIR, or like reservists that, you know, they join for 2 years, but they have 6 years of IIR, which means that if there's a conflict or something breaks out, the military can call you back into service.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah. So I did my initial enlistment. I re-enlisted, and then when I was at my 11-year mark, you know, it was time to like either get out or re-enlist again. So that's when I was going through the whole custody.
That's a tough choice, especially since if you know people that are going back in, probably you want to go in and
well, my thing
help
is
them
that
or be by them, but
my thing is that I wanted to to do my 20, you know, like stay in, do my 20, fucking retire from the military, whatever. And when that didn't work out, it's like, okay, well, I don't regret it. I mean, it's like, damn, like I wish I could have stayed in, but I don't regret it. I wanna, like, I got, at the end, I technically ended up getting more custody, because I think right now I'm like at 51% or something like that. Yeah. So I got more custody than her mom, and I didn't have to pay child support. Like my child support is 0, and
if you get more than 50, you're good.
And I'm not to brag about it, but I've always manned up. You know, the way I see it is like I'm the father of that child, so I'm gonna fucking provide for her. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So that's one thing that I pride myself in, being a good father. You know, like I might have been a shitty boyfriend, shitty husband, whatever. You know.
Yeah. But
nobody could ever debate that I was a bad father.
Yeah.
To me, it's like that's as a man, you step up. You know, like you take care of business.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up, is that I have the same mentality as you, and the family court system won't let me.
And that's the fucked up thing, that the system is geared more towards women.
See, that's what's fucked up, is all throughout family court, and I want this to be a whole nother episode eventually, but all throughout family court, my experience with it for almost 4 years is that, the child benefits from both parents. The child needs both parents equally.
Yes, I totally agree on that.
But then why are you keeping me away from her? Why can't I see my kid? Why did you grant them a fucking move away back to Connecticut so I can't ever fucking see her?
And that's where, like I said, the system is geared more towards women. The mother, you know, that's having custody of the child. But statistically, men make better parents. Because
having a father increases everything for the kid. Everything. Their ability to do better in school, their ability to get along better in life, their ability to be a more productive member of society when they have their father in their life.
Exactly. And that's if you
it's proven.
If you
100 times over.
Like, you always hear these stories of women, you know, being promiscuous and like freaking what's it called, going into like prostitution and like all these things. What is one of the things that they say? Oh, I never had a father figure. I didn't know.
That's the most common underlying thing.
Yeah,
they didn't have a dad.
Exactly. So
drug addiction, fucking everything.
And it's very important to have I mean, regardless, it's very important to have a two-parent home, right?
Yeah, both parents.
Yeah, but if you can't be under the same roof with the two same parents, like you co-parent.
Yeah, co-parent.
You know, it's very important to have that mother figure.
But when someone else doesn't want to co-parent, and you as a father are the only one that wants to co-parent, but they still get a majority of the time with the kid, or almost 100% of the time in my case, what the fuck? What is that? You know what I mean? So I am so happy that things turned out the way that they did with you. Your daughter's amazing. She's such a cool person, and I'm really glad that you get to spend that much time with her, and I'm glad that you take it seriously, and you're, you know, that you yourself are grateful for that. What are some things that, you know, you learned from the military? And you know, we didn't talk much about your biking experience, but you know, you can obviously come back for a part 2 for that. But what do you think is the biggest thing that helped you in real life that you learned from the military, besides like leadership and stuff like that? Like,
not giving up, bro. Like, it, like, you know how like you said, you haven't seen that movie, Hustle and Flow. There's a scene where I'm sure you heard this before, but it's in the movie. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. It doesn't matter what adversity you've overcome, like what you've been through. It's always like keep pushing, keep fighting. So one of the things that the Marines instill in you is honor, courage, commitment, mission accomplishment, where it's like, fuck, like I need to keep going. I need to accomplish my mission. And if that mission is killing the enemy, destroying the city, or fucking fighting for your family, fighting for a loved one, like you don't stop fighting. You don't give up. Like you keep pushing forward. Like as the saying goes, you know, even the longest day only has 24 hours. You have that mentality, like fucking. If you're a civilian, you probably never heard that term, Semper Gumby.
No.
You remember Gumby?
Yeah.
So one of the things about Marines is like you said, as one of our things is like Semper Gumby. Oh, you know what Semper means, right? Always.
Yeah.
You know how Semper Fidelis, always faithful. It's Latin. So Semper Gumby means always flexible. You gotta be flexible. You gotta adapt. You gotta overcome whatever situation you're in. If I got knocked down, what do? I get up and I figure it out, keep going. So that's one of the mentality about Marines, that no matter how hard the fight, like you push through, you keep going. If I was any other person, I could have gave up and be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Let her get custody.
Yeah.
But what as a man, how can you give up?
Yeah.
That's like I didn't know you were under the situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're going through, bro. Like as far as
well, that's the thing is like I'll never give up. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know what's next. You know, there's months of time where I'm thinking about what the next step is.
Here's the thing. One of the things that we always focus on and stress out about is like, shit, next week I gotta do this. The following week I gotta do this. Next month I gotta do this. We stress ourselves out, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, hold on. Let me fucking get through this day first. Because I'm stressing out about what's going to happen next week, the following week. But I haven't even made it through this day. So we bring it upon ourselves. We stress ourselves out. One of the biggest things that I stressed out about was, I bought my house, making my monthly payments, stay on top of that. And it's like, what if I get into a financial situation where it's like, I can't pay my house, I can't pay my bills, I can't do none of that, right? And I'm like, fuck, you start stressing out. Why? You could start all over. It's like, all right, fuck it. I lost there's people that have lost their life savings, they make a bad investment and they're like, fuck, they start from zero and you start up again. It's that whole mentality of like, all right, fucking, you knock me down, I'm gonna get up and keep going forward. So that's one of the things that the military, it's not for everybody. Okay, let's get that straight.
Yeah.
The military is not for the weak-minded. It's not for people that can't deal with waking up early, being told what to do 24/7, being yelled at, being away from home, or like you're just like fucking accustomed to getting everything given to you. That's not, the military is not for you.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't think it was for me, honestly. Like, it was funny because when I came out of high school, I was actually going to join the army. But then I was like, I was a little overweight and fucking, they're like, no, you need to lose the weight first. That whole idea of joining the military, like, kind of was in the back burner, right?
Yeah.
The back of my head. And then my sister, she ended up going to college and she ended up studying abroad. So she left to Italy. She was studying in Italy. And, I wasn't really doing anything with my life. And my dad ended up getting like a brain aneurysm. He was the sole provider for us. And that shit hit me really hard. And while my dad was still like in recovery, I went to a party. And my uncle, he started talking shit to me. he's like, what are you gonna do with your life? You know, like, you're not working, you're not going to school, you're not doing anything. And then he told me something that fucking stuck to me, like fuck, that shit burned, dude. Like, it's kind of like, oh, you know, when they fucking do that shit on your chest. He's like, your sister has more fucking balls than you.
Damn.
I was like, fuck. That shit hit me hard, dude, like a fucking ton of bricks. I ended up going inside, and I'm watching TV. Like, everybody's out in the party, like in the back, you know, and I'm like watching TV, and fucking the commercial, the Marines, the few, the proud. At that fucking moment, dude, like, I swear to God, at that moment, I'm like, I'm joining the Marines. I don't know if it was like a drastic decision or like, I just wanted to do something with myself.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes, though, right?
Yeah, but like, you know, like I said, when you're fucking in your 20s, you're like, fuck that. Like, I got my whole life ahead of me. But what he told me that hit hard, dude. Like, your sister has more balls than you.
But why did he say that?
Because I wasn't doing anything. Like, I fucking after high school, I got fired from my job. I went to college, and college wasn't for me. Yeah. So I would just go and hang out with my buddies and fucking, you know, we do a little fucking smoking and fucking, you know, and then I ended up meeting this girl. So instead of going to class, I would just go pick her up, take her home, go hang out, whatever. Yeah. So I wasn't doing anything with my life. Plus, on top of that, it's nothing that I'm proud of, but I started fucking around, you know, like, you know, fucking doing coke and, you know, shit like that.
All the shit you do in your 20s.
Yeah, exactly. So when he told me that I wasn't gonna amount to anything, you know, that my sister had more balls than me, I was like, fuck this. Like,
you realized you had to change.
Yeah.
You had to do something.
So it was funny because that was on the weekend. So come the week, I go talk to the recruiter. I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to join the Marines. You know, okay. A week later, fucking, I signed the paperwork.
That was it.
And then I still had like about a month before I had to, you know, head out to boot camp. And I told my parents, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm leaving to the Marines. Yeah, whatever. Nobody believed me. Nobody fucking believed me, dude. Seriously, nobody fucking believed me. And I told Adela. Mm-hmm. Adela, I love her with all my heart. Like, she's one of my favorite cousins. I told her, I'm like, I'm leaving to the Marines. Everybody in my family, you know what they said? Huh? You can't handle the Marines.
Oh, shit, man.
You can't make it in the Marines.
You had something to prove.
So yeah, so fucking they're like, oh, you can't make it in the Marines. Like, you're not. So the day that I had to like head out to boot camp, I told my parents, I'm like, hey, I need a ride to the airport because they flew me from LAX to San Diego. And they're like, for what? And I'm like, I told you I was leaving to the Marines. And they're like, you were serious about that? I'm like, yes. Oh my God. So even till that fucking moment where I had to like fucking fly out to MCRD San Diego, they still doubted me. Shit. So I fucking take off to the Marines, and then you know, I go through my training and everything, and fucking I earned it, my title of being a Marine. Fucking greatest moment of my life by far is the birth of my daughter. That's like the single one moment. Second close is earning the title Marine. I'm proud of being a Marine, bro. Like, fucking, that's like, but the birth of my daughter is by far the greatest moment of my life. Yeah. But being a Marine, I think being a Marine is like hand in hand, almost there, you know? Yeah. But I'll still take the birth of my daughter anytime. Yeah. So I earned my title, you know. I come back for a couple of days and I go visit my family members. You know what's one of the first things that my cousin Adela says? What? Oh my God, we're so proud of you. You know what my first response was?
Do I want to know?
I'm like, you fucking hypocrites.
Fuck you.
I'm like, you're such a hypocrite. I'm like, all of you guys said I didn't have the balls that I can fucking make it through the boot camp, and now you guys are proud of me.
Yeah.
She I mean, I don't know if she'll admit to it, but you could ask her. She broke down crying and she apologized.
It's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. So that's where my career as a Marine began. I did my deployments. It made me the person I am today. I love the Marines. Fucking, you see me. I'm proud of being a Marine. Because once a Marine, always a Marine. It's giving me the opportunities to succeed in life.
Yeah.
Did it fuck me up being deployed? Yeah. You know, I don't know if you know that I'm 100% from the VA, disabled from the VA.
I don't see how it can't fuck anybody up like that. Like, just the amount of shit you guys go through. I don't know how anybody has a normal life after that. You know, and that's part of why you did the biking group, right? Because you needed some type of normalcy. You needed some type of...
Not just that, but
camaraderie.
You need to... I mean, dude, like, I don't know if I should be talking about this shit. Not a lot of people know, but... I fell fucking deep into drugs, bro. Like, fucking...
We've talked about drugs on this podcast before. I mean...
No, but I mean, as far as me... disclosing it and, you know, like, talking about it, like, obviously, to whoever's listening or whatever, like, you know,
did you go through recovery? Did you go to
groups?
AA?
I didn't seek any. I mean, I went to therapy. I actually had to go to. I went through. Well, the thing is that.
What did you use drugs for? To self-medicate?
To numb the pain.
Yeah, stop feeling.
Yeah, and one of the things too was when my mom ended up getting sick, that she suffered brain aneurysm or whatever you call it. That fucking, because she's my queen, you know. Well, rest in peace. She was my queen. That dude fucking fucked me up, bro. Like,
sure.
Even till this day, man, like, fucking still fucks me up. And I honestly, I fucking fell hard into fucking drugs, bro. Like, I even one time I even called my cousin, and I told her, I go, hey, you know what? I'm all fucked up. Like, she's like, why? What's wrong? And I go, like, this shit has me like fucking like bad, dude. Like.
Well, that's the hardest thing to do, is to fucking ask for help and admit that shit, you know?
Yeah, and people think that you do it as fucking for recreation or whatever and shit like that, but it fucking it takes away so much of the pain, the reality, dude. Like, you know, I'm sure whoever fucking has ever gotten high or fucking done all this shit, like, it's a different reality, it's a different mentality, it's a different like sensation, where it's like fucking like nothing, like your worries are gone. Oh, you're like, I'll fucking deal with this shit later. Like, fuck this. Like, I'm enjoying this shit too right now.
I know, man.
And
I'm an addict. I've been an addict. I know.
It fucked me up, bro.
A couple times. It took me a couple times to get better, you know? And I'm still not better, technically, you know? Still fight it every day.
Yeah. Honestly, I still do, bro. Like, fucking, like, I'm tempted, and I'm like, fuck. Like, it takes a lot to say, like, no, fuck this. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
And, like even till this day, I'm just like, fuck. Like, what the?
Because it's so easy, man.
It's
so easy to just do it and get away from whatever you're trying to get
exactly.
away from.
But the worst part is coming down, bro. Like, that's one of the biggest things, because, like, everything just fucking piles up. Mm-hmm. Like,
everything you've been avoiding
exactly like
feeling for so long comes back, and you gotta feel it tenfold.
Like, at first, everything you're like, fuck yeah, like, you feel like invincible. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
I can fucking do whatever I want. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm down for whatever. But then the fucking when you're coming down, it's like you feel like shit. You feel you have regrets. You're like, what the fuck was I thinking? And like, I'm just fucking hurting myself and all this bullshit. Yeah. But then what happens? You do it all over again, and you're like, all right, one more time.
It's a vicious fucking cycle, bro.
Yeah. So you know what's? I was watching this movie with what's his name? Fucking Klein, something like that. Stephen Klein, The Contractor. There's a scene where they're having this conversation, and they're talking about how the military like fucking builds you up, trains you, does all these things. They make you go through all these things, fucking whatever it is, and then at the end they just fucking discard you. Like, hey, fucking, like, you know, you're done. We don't need you anymore.
That's how non-vets felt.
Yeah, it's like, we don't need you anymore. So they get all fucked up. Some of them commit suicide. Some of them like can't deal with like everyday life, you know, because they're so used to being part of a brotherhood, being part of a program, being part of something, you know, like something greater than them. And then, you know, they get all fucked up and the government just fucking forgets about them. So that's kind of where I'm getting at, where it's like,
that's how you felt?
You do all these things, like you train, you have a certain system, like
you fight for the fucking country.
Yeah, something that works for you, and then all of a sudden it's like, once your time is done, it's like, all right, that's it, we're done, we don't need you.
You're disposable.
So it's like a lot of people have dealt with being in the military for so long that they don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like they
just keep going back.
They start drinking, they start fucking doing drugs, they start like having anger issues, fucking whatever it is, and they end up doing something stupid to themselves or a loved one or whatever it is. When you're in the military, it's one of the greatest feelings because you belong to a brotherhood, right? But when you get out, you don't have that. You miss that. And unfortunately, your wife, your kid, or anything, they don't understand because it's like
they didn't experience it.
Exactly.
They don't know.
So, like when you asked me about joining I joined a motorcycle club. It's like it's similar, but not, you know, not, the structure is totally different. You know, this is just something like a hobby, whatever. So you wanna be part of something. You wanna belong. And then like a lot of people criticize that, like, oh well, you know, you're just a follower. Like, why do you need to be a part of a group?
Yeah.
Those are the same people that have never belonged to anything that, like I said, something greater than them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's that camaraderie you miss. Like, I don't know if you saw that I had my 20-year reunion. I headed up to Texas and you know, met up with a lot of my buddies, and it was like, damn, like I can't believe it's 20 years since the Iraq War, you know. And it was like, I was so happy and shit like that. And it's like, fuck, dude, like when you have like, even, I don't know if you ever played football or anything, like, yeah, you know, you have like you have this bond.
I was in bands a lot.
Right.
And
oh fuck,
it's the same shit though. Like,
kiss my fucking ass,
bro. Sports and bands. Yes.
You started your fucking story with this one time at band camp.
Not that kind of fucking band, like a fucking like rock band.
Oh,
dude.
Okay, all right.
Like, you know, you got your guys. Yeah. They're your guys. You know, I was in bands my whole life, and you know, when those bands, you build a bond.
You build a bond.
You learn each other. You read them. You don't have to say nothing to each other, and you know what they're gonna do next.
Let's keep it simple. Here's one thing that no other group, well, military and motorcycle clubs have in common, and I know you witnessed it. When I'm riding my motorcycle and another rider passes by, I don't know that person. I've never, ever seen that person in my life. But what do? Like, what's up, bro?
Put the two fingers
up. Fucking the deuces. Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And or maybe if you have your hands on the
handlebars.
On the handlebars and you're fucking riding, just that simple, like nod.
Just nod, yeah.
Like, what's up? Or when he pulls up beside you, you don't even know him, but what do you do? Fist pump, bro. You do a fist pump, or you just nod, like, what's up? If you see him stranded on the side of the road, you pull up, hey bro, you good? Like, you need some help? If a rider goes down, what do you do? Like, you fucking pull up, like, hey, bro, you good? Like,
Yeah.
this is a complete stranger that I've never seen in my life. You know, like, hey, you have this bond. Same thing with the military. If I see somebody wearing a veteran hat or like fucking a t-shirt, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, Navy, I don't know about Coast Guard, but you know, like fucking, and you look at them and you like, hey, thank you for your service. I mean, you've seen that where like, hey, thank you for your service. You know, what's up, bro? You served? Like, yeah. All right. Or like if you see another fucking Marine, hoorah, semper fi, kill. You know, little things that you just tell each other. And people that never served or never done something like that, they don't know what it's like. So,
and that's what'll keep you forever separated from civilians and serving, you know?
And then what pisses me off is you got those fucking, hey, to each its own, fucking liberals that hate on the military. They're like, oh, why do we need a new military? Oh, but if we're getting invaded, I bet you fucking ass you would want their protection.
Yeah.
People complain about the very same freedom that is given to them by the men and women that serve in the military. They have the rights to complain. They have the rights to protest. They have the right to fucking burn the flag. They have the right to fucking freedom of speech. But how is that First Amendment provided? By fucking people that have served.
By you.
Not by me, but everyone else that has served, is serving, and will fucking serve in the future. You don't have to thank us. You don't have to fucking just be grateful that somebody is fighting for your fucking freedom. You know, like be thankful. Like not. You don't have to tell me, oh, thank you for your service. Just be like, you know what? Because of this person or group, I'm able to do what I'm able to do right now. I'm able to sleep at night. I'm able to spend time with my family. You know, I'm able to enjoy what this country has to offer because of the men and women that have served, that has given their life, or that, you know, is serving right now.
Well, thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Fuck you. And as a service member, I'm allowed to say that. I earned that right.
Cool, and I'll take it. Junior, thank you.
Hey, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Good talk.
Hey, everyone. So, I had Junior on today because he has a very interesting perspective on the world. You know, as you heard, he's been in the Marines. He went through a lot of shit there, and, you know, I wanted other people to hear his experience. Because we always, you know, during like family gatherings, you know, he'll sit and talk to me and we'll talk to each other. And I was like, dude, I got to get you on the podcast. So I hope you all enjoyed. Very interesting guy. It's funny too. Doesn't hesitate to fuck with you a little bit, you know. But I'm glad you guys got to meet Junior. Next week we got a really special episode. Hang tight for that. I don't want to give too much away, but it was very exciting for me. It was very, very cool interview. Sorry I've been kind of distant on social media lately. I had a lot going on. Kids were home from school, working on stuff, big things to come. So hang in there, everybody. Thank you for listening. And if you haven't listened to the Manit episode, go back to the last episode. Listen to Manit talk about his experiences writing books, his experience running his YouTube channel. Don't miss that one if you haven't listened to it already. Thanks, guys. Go and follow on Instagram at The Memo Show, TheMemoshow, just like you heard Leo in the beginning. That's my son. He's a cool cat. I'm going to have him on one day, too. We're just going to talk Fortnite the whole time. So if you don't like video games, you could skip that one, but it's going to be fun. Yeah. If you could leave a review, that would be great on iTunes or the podcast app. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. See you in a couple weeks.